I'm Dr. Laura Hanson, owner and founder of Original Development and Therapy Center located in Dunwoody, Georgia. This is part of an ongoing video series. Initially, I was reaching out only to parents, teachers, therapists, anyone who has a relationship with a developmentally delayed child or neurobehavioral challenge. This particular video is reaching out to everyone. Maybe you are a couple that's getting ready to plan to have a baby come into your life. Perhaps you just want some additional information about your own personal health. Regardless of the situation, this information is important for everyone. With what is going on in healthcare today and the changes that we are seeing in insurance, the potential of Obamacare, it is more than important right now for you to take responsibility for your own health. You need to be educated so that you can make vital decisions that are going to help you navigate your health compass. Today we're going to talk about epigenetics. The word epi, E-P-I, simply means what plays upon a gene. Traditional healthcare thought processes believe we are nothing but genetic expression, and that is simply not the entire story. In fact, genes are not a linear expression. They are only going to respond in the direction that the triggers are given, and those triggers are the external environment and the internal environments of our body. Now, in the past, when we've been talking about children with neurobehavioral challenges, there's so much of it, especially in the area of autism, that it has been related to a genetic problem, specifically the mitochondria. Now, we will get into particular parts of the cell in later videos. But let me tell you, with the epidemics that we are seeing today in children, you simply cannot have a genetic epidemic. That doesn't exist. But what you can have is a change in what is expressing itself upon the genes of human physiology. About 10 or 15 years ago, I read an amazing piece of research that really looked at the health of adults, the expected outcomes, and how it was going to play on their children. And they looked at several different components. A few of these are the top adult onset diagnoses are autoimmune, endocrine, diabetes, depression, obesity, and cancer. If you were an individual with those types of symptoms and diagnoses, then you had a greater predisposition of a child who was not going to get wired up right correctly. Now, the reason is you don't wake up one morning and have diabetes. You don't wake up one morning and have an autoimmune problem. You don't wake up one morning and have cancer, nor do you wake up and one day you're obese. All of these things have subtle findings that are continuing to come on over years. It takes a while for even a person to gain 10 pounds. Even if you wanted to sum it down to a 30-day period, it still takes a period of time. So what's going on in that environment, what that person is eating, is actually changing the internal environment from the external brought into the internal. It is changing that person's environment, and the expression of it is overweight. And then overweight begins to climb, and it begins to continue to change how the body is functioning. This is an epigenetic change on the body, and this is happening in our environments all the time. If you do know children with neurobehavioral challenges, this is one of the areas that has really been looked at as being some type of genetic issue. But really what the research is telling us today is that there are several environmental triggers that are leading to a higher susceptibility with this type of outcome. So if you're a couple that are considering having a baby and not yet pregnant, I really encourage you. You need about a year to 2 years to investigate your own health, make the changes necessary so that you can bring your health up to the level that would raise the likelihood that you would have a child that is not plagued with the neurobehavioral challenges that many parents are facing today. Now, I'm not suggesting that developmental delay is a plague, so please don't misunderstand me, but I work in this environment all the time, and these parents, they are fatigued. They are highly emotional. They have been through so many struggles. So that is the point from which I am speaking. And I do believe that through education, we can make a change. If you are dealing with any of those adult set diagnoses, I encourage you to take the steps necessary to regain your health. Original Development and Therapy Center is a place that can help even adults navigate their health compass. One of the things that really alarms me about what's going on in our healthcare system right now is there are people walking around with those subtle symptoms and they are being told nothing is wrong with them. In fact, I know a young lady who literally has hypertrophy of her thyroid, and she is being told that because her lab says there's nothing wrong, if it's really bothering you, let's just cut off part of your thyroid for cosmetic purposes. People, I'm asking you, does that even sound logical? Use your own intellect to make some decisions about your health to get you going in a better direction. When I was talking to this young lady, I was explaining to her, there is a functional level in which all systems of the body should operate. Let's call that level homeostasis. You can have levels that are too high and you can have levels that are too low. Optimal is best. Unfortunately, what's been happening in our medical community up until today and even today is they are changing the lab values based on who took the test last year, how many people took the test. Now we are using averages of how many people took the test and what the outcomes were. You're actually being compared to averages, so you can expect average health. There's a fabulous organization called the Institute of Functional Medicine. I am actually a part of that organization. This was a group of medical doctors that went back to the grassroots of biochemistry in order to look at the functional levels to improve health. So my suggestion to the young lady, let's do some functional labs to determine what the function of your thyroid is actually doing. And then if it's outside of my scope of practice, I have a wonderful referral team that I would like to introduce you to so that we can improve the function of your thyroid. Your thyroid is part of your endocrine system, one of those top 6. This young lady is in an epigenetic change right now. Look at your own lifestyle. What are your eating habits? What are your exercise habits? What are your thought habits? Those are the environments that are changing how your internal physiology is working. You are experiencing epigenetics daily. Thanks for tuning in.